Aldo Gusto says, I just saw the Alyssa clip on the Melton crew seething about me. Apparently, I'm Aaron's best friend and I never laugh at him. You're right. I've never called Aaron gay. I've never called him a f***it. No. And it it's interesting. The same people that are worried about me, it's like, do they ever call Nick a piece of shit? You know, they always cry about Aaron, but it's like, Nick's a good boy. It's like, no. They're both gay. They're both cucks. They're both cringe. I dare you guys to say that. I dare you guys to say that. Say it. Say it. You won't. You won't. But they are. Say it. Let's see who's really honest. I hope Aaron says in court that he fucked Nick. I mean, I did mention it on the farms. If he admits they're like gay lovers, that kind of ups the things there. Scooby Doo says they both ate goo out of those nasty hose ghetto dugouts. Yeah. Yes. This is Aaron's, and once again, for all you Mongoloids out there, I still think Aaron's going to lose. So I don't know how much more clear to say that. I still think he is going to lose. Especially against Nick. I still think he loses. Merely because Nick is Kayla's husband and Kayla is the victim of the case that Aaron is the defendant on. No, Sean says no. It just means another win for the toe. Yes. That's all they hear. That's all they hear me say. Because I didn't go, I love Daddy Patrick Melton. I love Daddy Nick Rekieta. Unless you say that, they don't understand what you're saying. All right. So, but what do we have here, chat? This is the petitioner's exhibit list, and this is what you got to do. You got to provide exhibits. You got to say, here's what we're doing, Your Honor. A bunch of NLO messages. Now, this is kind of vague, but who knows what that means? NLO November 9th Twitter post or Rekieta Twitter post. A bunch of Twitter posts June 29th, 2025. From the Rekieta Twitter page. Patrick Melton's post. A bunch of Twitter posts. The Nick Rekieta stream post service of the ex parte order. The Patrick Melton stream where Nick wishes death. Yeah, that's going to, once again, that's fucking brilliant. You guys did all that shit on stream. The stream where Nick says he won't be involved in killing Aaron. Nick's live stream post service of the ex parte order. They're just doing all this. Nick's live stream regarding the HRO. Nick and Melton live stream post HRO. Nick Rekieta and Patrick Smelton. It says Smelton. February 28th, 2025 live stream. They're going all out, chat. The Hackamania live stream. Yep, that is going to be used. I don't know how well it's going to work, but yeah, they're, Patrick Smelton's live stream. The live stream comments about the minor child. Yeah, talking about her being a cup holder and shit. I'm sure the judge is going to be thrilled about that. It maybe, nothing happens, but he's going to have to squirm and explain why that's okay. And the judge is going to be like, I don't think it's fucking funny. A bunch of NLO shit. I don't know what this means. Nobody likes onions because it's on 20, so it's a separate thing, like what date and time. YouTube videos, I think that's a little vague. And any and all exhibits identified by respondent. Now, that's a fair one you do there. Anything you're going to introduce, I'm going to use. So they reserve the right to introduce other exhibits as necessary for rebuttal evidence due to presented at trial. And also, chat, remember, impeachment evidence does not have to be disclosed because you don't know you're going to need it until there's, untruthfulness and impeaching credibility. So the petitioner's witness list. Ashley LaRue, that is Aaron's ex-wife, I believe. I don't know. Ann Gosh, or Gauche, or Gotch, or Gooch. Slam Piece. Any and all witnesses named by Nick. Aaron himself and Nick in this case, because you can call those parties. Because it's a civil hearing, you can call them. Now, we have the same thing for Patrick Melton. It literally doesn't change anything there. Don't call the phone numbers, chat. Don't be a faggot about it. It's the same stuff, the exact same things here for Melton's case. So we'll see what happens. Like I said, I don't think it's going to work. I think they're probably going to do they're going to do the good college try on it. I'm sure it'll be a nice try, but it's just not going to work. It's just not going to work. Couldn't they call Cheeto and the boxing coach? They could, but they're not. I don't know why they're not. You'd think you'd want to bring in Cheeto to say he tried to, he had to kick these people out. But, yeah, Cheetos didn't want to be there. Given the hearing's only 30 minutes, does this have to be presented in court? Yes. They got 30 fucking minutes to knock this out. I think that's why I think they're really going to focus. Like, if Aaron's ex-wife's coming in, they're really going to hammer on the kids shit for Melton just to fucking, burn it down, and Melton talking about, fucking Aaron's kids and shit. I think that's what they're going to hammer on. I don't think it's going to be enough. I don't think it's going to be enough at the end of the day. Karam says, with this change of the toast, they said they were domestic lovers and partners. Like I said, I think that's a very interesting gambit to run. I don't think it. I mean, like, is it Aaron's gonna have to come out and admit I'm a big old? If Aaron came out Aaron admits to being a big like, that's a hell of an argument. You are literally incinerating your entire life to win the HRO. I don't think the juice is worth the squeeze there. Although we know Aaron is we know they're gay. Jefferson says, what additional factors would be needed? Well, they would need to show that they're being harassing in nature towards Aaron. I just think there's going to be the circumstances surrounding it where the magistrate or the judge is going to be torn, especially on the ones where Nick is speaking out against the man who victimized his wife in a crime. That's going to be a tough one to say he can't do that. If that makes any sense. I think that's, like I said, I think that's what's going to kill Aaron's case. It's just anything that has a substantially adverse impact on somebody's safety, security, or privacy. I mean, there's that's kind of how this goes. It's really ultimately the issue. KLS says they are harassing him, being Kayla's husband to give him immunity. I understand that, but Aaron's in a different situation than the average person. He is, I still think that's going to be seen as retaliation against Nick, since he can't retaliate against Kayla. Like I said, I don't know how the judge is going to look at it, but that's what I think. I think the judge will do it that way. That's why I think she's going to dismiss it. And then the Melton one really just comes down to how much all this shit pisses off the judge. But I don't think it's going to be enough. I still don't think it's going to be enough. HIV1 says, it Aaron's fault for hiring a dipshit lawyer the first time around? No. His attorney, Todd Peterson, did a very good job. No, everything was fine there. That wasn't a problem. Jefferson Post says, Nick being the victim's spouse is a fair point. I think it is. I think it's a major point. A major, major point. The real problem is Melton is first. No, it's not. I mean, that's actually bad for Nick. But we'll see. We'll see. And, the judge may take the day and then decide to issue by the end of the day. Aaron should argue it's a harassment conspiracy involving Melton and Nick. Well, based on the evidence that's there, yes, the judge is going to see it, and it's basically going to be one massive hearing, more or less. Chewy is saying, but why isn't that enough for Melton? I'm just not sure. I mean, because he went to, public places. He didn't show up to, Aaron's house. I think is going to be tough for him. It was for a court hearing. He's allowed to be at a court hearing. He's allowed to take pictures at a court hearing. There's a lot of things you can do at the court hearings. He's allowed to go to the golf course. He's allowed to go to the gym. He's allowed to go to Stoney's. I just don't think that's going to be enough. I don't think it's going to be enough, because that one really will come across as some gay internet bullshit. Otto says, you are allowed to stalk? How did he stalk? He went to places that day Aaron was not going to be. So it wasn't stalking necessarily. You're going to say that, you're going to have to be specific. I mean, well, and here's the thing. Even if he says that, even if that's true, I still, don't think it's going to be enough. Don't think it's going to be enough. Don't think that's going to be enough, chat. Although Melton getting the HRO against him and Nick not getting one is the most hilarious outcome possible. Because Nick can say whatever he wants, but Melton, his attack vector is dead on using it. And then Melton's going to have to pick a fight with someone else, because now he would have nothing else to do. Minnesota does have a cyber stalking law, but I don't think it applies here.